Czasami też, czasami często, ale nie.
W pociągu w ogóle jest w ogóle. Ale już nawet nie wiem kiedy w ogóle nagle
wait until you're 18. Wait until you're 18. That's supposed to be.
This is Mr. Anderson in the house. Bleep.
In a wild forest, a leopard moved through the tall, thick grass. As it walked, its paws stepped on small branches. It lifted its head and looked around. Above, a giant beehive hung from a big tree branch, slowly swaying in the air. The leopard stopped under the tree and stared at the beehive. In the distance, a group of hyenas stood on a small hill, watching the leopard through the thin bushes. Their eyes shone, and they stayed at a safe distance, not moving closer. The leopard had been hunting all day but failed to catch anything. It was tired and hungry. It looked up at the beehive, thinking for a moment. Then, it made a decision. It placed its paws firmly on the tree trunk and started climbing. Its claws dug into the rough bark as it moved upward, slowly reaching the branch where the beehive hung. Once close, the leopard stood on a thick branch and raised one paw. With all its strength, it swiped at the beehive. The beehive shook violently and then fell to the ground with a loud crash. The buzzing sound of bees suddenly exploded, spreading through the forest. The beehive broke into pieces, and golden honey spilled out, dripping onto the ground. The sweet smell filled the air. Millions of bees swarmed out of the broken hive, forming a thick, dark cloud. The buzzing grew even louder as the bees left their destroyed home. They flew straight toward the leopard. Before it could react, the bees attacked. The leopard panicked and jumped down from the tree. It ran through the tall grass, trying to escape, but the bees followed. They covered its body and kept stinging. The leopard tripped over a small root and fell to the ground. It rolled and struggled, trying to shake the bees off, but nothing worked. Exhausted, the leopard slowed down. It lay in the middle of the wild forest, barely moving. In the distance, a herd of zebras calmly grazed on fresh green grass. Some lifted their heads and looked around but paid no attention to the leopard. Desperate, the leopard spotted a stream nearby. Without hesitation, it ran and jumped into the water. A big splash sent droplets flying everywhere, but even underwater, the bees refused to leave. They clung to its body, ignoring the flowing water. Meanwhile, other animals continued their lives in the forest. A lone antelope walked slowly past a bush. A flock of birds flew across the sky. No one noticed the struggling leopard. The world around it carried on as usual. The bees didn't just attack the leopard, they started building new hives on its thick fur. Small honeycombs formed on its shoulders and back. The leopard had become a home for the bees. After endless struggling, the leopard finally collapsed on the riverbank. It was too weak to move. From a distance, the hyenas watched, waiting for their chance. Just then, a rescue vehicle appeared on a rough dirt road. It stopped near the stream. Inside the vehicle, 4 men grabbed binoculars and looked at the leopard. A rescue worker quickly stepped out, carrying a large bag of equipment. The others followed, bringing medical supplies. They approached the leopard cautiously, stopping a few meters away to assess the scene. The buzzing of bees was loud and clear. One rescuer pulled out a smoke machine and turned it on. Thick white smoke spread around the leopard and the riverbank. The bees reacted immediately. Slowly, they began to leave the leopard's body. The sun was setting, and the forest became quiet. The rescue team worked quickly. One of them checked the leopard's condition while another grabbed a spray bottle from the vehicle. They sprayed water all over the leopard's fur, washing away the remaining bees. The leopard's golden fur started to appear again beneath the wet layer. They cleaned the leopard's wounds. Then, they took out a medical kit. One rescuer pulled out a syringe, checked the medicine inside, and injected it into the leopard's skin. They also measured its heartbeat and blood pressure, recording everything in a notebook. Finally, they brought out fresh meat and placed it near the leopard's nose. The weak animal sniffed it, then slowly began to eat, bite by bite. As their work ended, the team stood around the leopard. One rescuer gently petted its now clean and bandaged fur. The others watched quietly, relieved that they had saved its life. One of them took out a camera and snapped a picture of the group with the rescued leopard. The flash lit up the dim evening. Another rescuer printed the photo right there and mounted it on a small wooden sign as a memory of their rescue. Before leaving, the team looked at the leopard one last time. One rescuer waved goodbye. The leopard stepped closer and rubbed its head against the rescuer's leg, showing its gratitude. Then, it slowly turned and walked away, disappearing into the deep forest.